right quick, this is about the church, the homeless epidemic. There's always the haves and the have-nots, but as we know, what they've been working on is the either you're the haves, or you really the have-nots. Like Garbage Pail Kids versus Cabbage Patch. If y'all know what I'm talking about with the Perfect Town and if you know, you know. But to shorten all that, y'all know how it's so many churches in any major hood. I'm in Houston, okay. It's a lot of hoods in here, and it's a lot of nice places too, in the same vicinity of the hoods. But you have a thousand corner stores, you have a thousand churches, abundance of funeral homes in certain areas, and I do business, I do wholesale, all this stuff, so I know the mathematics of it. From consumerism, making you feel like you need a lot, but you don't. That's not what people be needing on average. All I'm trying to tell y'all is that it's us that's going to help shape the environment of other things. But we can only help ourselves and people that we love, people that we know, people that trust us, and people that we trust, like that. You understand? I'm this type of person, like, on a sociopathy level, like, I don't trust anybody. I had too much experiences with things. I trust my kids. I trust them and understand them to know who they are and who I created them to be and how they are internally. And I teach them the common decency of people. Common decency. Some people too scared to say hi, how you doing? Which is strange to me because I grew up like real countrified, even though I'm from the city, but I grew up real countrified. I'm not down with that. You staring somebody down, you looking at them, but you don't say hi. Nah, your mouth work. Say hi. How you doing? Whoop de whoop. I'm that girl. You know. But anyways, there are plenty of churches, and I've come to the conclusion of these churches that are in predominantly poor areas. Um, why don't people that go to those churches see that those churches are invested in themselves? The pastors, BMW, Rolls Royce, or they bring their raggedy car to church, and then when everybody know, like, okay, people that are on the board, they know where the pastor stays. They know they stay in a nice area. They stay in a nice area, or if it's around the hood, they know that they got about 5 or 6 cars. You know, they know that they family eat out multiple times a week, all this kind of stuff, right? Why aren't churches safe houses? Why aren't churches domestic violence shelters? Why aren't churches homeless vicinity homeless places where people can go through the outreach programs within that church? Because y'all gotta realize people that go to church, these churches, they are a part of a large community. It's the community. Churches are for the community, right? So why I became Buddhist, and I'm still a believer in Jesus Christ, Christianity, yes. But I practice my stuff myself. Only other thing as far as church wise I will say is the Lighthouse Church for Pastor Keon Henderson. But I don't actively just dedicate separate amounts of my time. My schedule don't work like that. But what I will say is that most of these churches, people not realizing, and I grew up in the church with elders who basically lived in the church 5 days a week, 4 days a week on the boards. They know a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I realized that churches are not designed to help people make a living. They're designed to provide people with hope. And I feel like that's not gonna help me. That's not gonna help other people. That's not gonna help me help other people. If there are programs where different people, depending on people's schedule, there's different organizational structures within a church's nonprofit, y'all, that churches can make a significant amount from the government. Even if they did start those programs, hiring security to make sure people is secure and safe, having proper background checks, mental evaluation, all this stuff before even doing that. Churches have the capability to do that, y'all. But if you got to do a little bit of nothing and you make a lot of money, would you bother to do that if you're one of these people? One of these priests, pastors, ministers, bishops? No, you wouldn't. You give people the bare minimum like they do. That's why I don't sponsor some types of church situations. Now, when I was struggling, there were certain churches, even here in Houston, where they offer you rental help, or they offer you food, stuff like that. It's here in Houston. There's no reason nobody should be out here starving. These churches are giving it away. But y'all got to think about people who don't have nowhere to go. All this kind of stuff. Where are they warming the food up? How are they getting it done? How are they taking a shower? So it's kind of like they're just doing it to have a tax write-off for themselves. When you're thinking about it, if you know business, you know business. If you know the tip of the iceberg of what business is, that's what it is. Which is terrible, but pay attention. Do what y'all can in y'all's community. For me, at least, I'm just working on something to where I have a whole community center from my area where I grew up so I can help people. It's going to make it to where they're self-sufficient. But I'm just going to help local churches have that structure in place to where they can sustainably do that. And it's not like they don't know that they can do that. I think they do. But the corruption is so deep that it might not work the way we think things should work, right? Donate money and the church will handle it. Clearly they can't. I mean, I'm 34 now, and I grew up with my grandmother, and then I see that they're not going to do it. They're going to take, you're going to tithe, all that stuff, people, tithe, whatever. But something has to give. Okay? So, personally, for me, like, if y'all are a woman, a man, anything, start, like, I have libraries around here. It's buildings that are structured. You can have your organization, whatever you're starting. Yeah, I be having trouble, though, wrangling African-American women and empowering them, gourmet food, business plan analysis through me, different things to help them, encourage them within their life and their family with goal planning and setting. They make the goals. I don't even have to look at it. It's about them and personal structure. Them girls wouldn't even show up, y'all. They're chasing behind men. The ones that wouldn't show up, are they chasing behind whatever they're chasing behind? Are they just not motivated? They stuck where they are because they don't see me with a Lamborghini. They don't see stuff like that. But that'll be later. But in the meantime, it's just the fact that people have to motivate themselves. This world is not going to motivate y'all ass. The world is going to take. Because people don't have the courage to put in the efforts. What they can do. We can't do any and everything, but we can uplift our communities, where we're at, to get to where we want to be. There is also, it's several travel apps. There's things for families, because I'm working on becoming an expat, which means that I'm leaving the United States shortly. As soon as I'm done with a bunch of other legal stuff, I'm out this bitch because I'm tired of this. No, I'm good. No, thank you. The way of life is not the same as it should be for our kids. The way of life is not the same as it should be for anybody that wants to have a good quality of life. But I wish y'all all the best. I'm going to post, but let me know what y'all think. Like, what are y'all thoughts on where y'all live at? Do y'all have, like, an area where you have all these churches that just donate food and stuff? They just have people tithe, but they're not really fixing the structure of the members' homes wholeheartedly the way it should be. That's all I'm trying to say. People not blind, they can see. That's why the amount of people coming in is not all that, because of those things. And if it is, you have to go to all these different programs and kiki, and you got all this crazy ass shit going on in the mix. And y'all let me know. Churches, gas stations, all this shit in the hood that be in the hood on every MLK street and everywhere else in the city.